shops, and we'll assume that most of you are here for today's third and final forum of this session of the Peekskill Community Congress. How many people in here ever thought that they would ever be a member of Congress before? A couple of you. Some of you are, I know. But the way we like to frame this community Congress idea is that you all are actually members of Congress. It's official. You're politicians, whether you like it or not, because the Peekskill Community Congress is about the residents of the town coming together in a direct way to try to advocate for change. So welcome, and my name's Jocelyn Apicello, and I would like, if Dr. Mauricio is still here, to just say a quick hello. He may not be. Right, he's probably gone out, but we really are very honored and proud to be partnering with the Saturday Academy and being here in the school in such a lovely setting. And we thank Principal Jamal and Dr. Mauricio and Maria and everyone who helped make this happen. So can we just give them a round of applause, even though they're not even in here? All right, so I will actually ask if we do have this meeting being translated into Spanish, and I'm going to ask, I see Janya, our translator, is over here right now, kind of talking to someone who's already called in, but Janya, would you mind coming up and just giving some info? Thank you to Janya for doing some translation services. So Janya has on some tables, there's a piece of paper with a number that you can call in. She'll be translating. Thank you. Translating in real time to anyone who wants to hear the Spanish translation, and I'm going to let Janya welcome and say this in Spanish.
Welcome everybody. Mucho gusto. Mi nombre es Jania Cabarcas. Estoy aquí con mucho placer el día de hoy. Es la segunda vez que vengo con Jason y Jocelyn. Estamos discutiendo todos los puntos importantes en la ciudad de Peekskill y de verdad que los invitamos a que se animen a hacerlos públicos para que de una vez puedan ser abordados por toda la comunidad y puedan ser solucionados de la mejor manera posible. Estoy aquí y voy a estar traduciéndoles. Es un placer estar aquí nuevamente y mucho gusto conocerlos.
Thank you. All right. So I'm going to ask Jason Angel to come up and say, I'm going to give him the 2-minute warning too, because we've got a tight time schedule today. So I will be giving him the 2-minute warning, and then we'll start with the proposals.
Good morning, everybody. How is everybody? Good morning. Good morning. All right. First of all, the first thing you see is that Jocelyn runs a tight ship with the time. We all are playing by the same rules today. But I want to welcome everybody to the final forum of the Peekskill Community Congress. My name is Jason Angel. I'm the director of the Ecological Citizens Project and a community organizer with the Peekskill Community Congress. And I'm going to keep my remarks very brief because really, why we're all here today is to hear city residents of Peekskill who are 13 years or older answer a simple question. What would be your top priority for moving Peekskill forward? And so I want to leave as much time for that as possible and make sure people go out and support the other great activities at the Saturday Academy. So very briefly, why Community Congress? You know, why is this initiative called Community Congress? You know, the first reason is because if Congress is supposed to be the body that sets the agenda, then the community should be in front of it. There should be community input in deciding what the agenda is in a city, all right? And that is really the main idea here of giving people who live in a community the power to help set the agenda. And then the other reason why Congress is in the name of this initiative, I never knew this until I looked up Congress in the dictionary and looked at the secondary definition, which I hadn't done before, the act of coming together. All right, and so this idea is about a community coming together, speaking and saying what they care about, and then conducting a community-wide vote to see what people in the city of Peekskill care about in common. Because the only way, as we all know, we make progress is to come together and work together on initiatives we care about. Right? And so there's no, one individual. When we say, how do we build the better community we want, there's no one individual that can do that alone. I think history sometimes likes to focus on one individual, but the reality is with any major progress, it is a collective group of people moving together to work on things together. And so this is how the Community Congress is going to work. This is the process. This is the, 1 minute left, all right. There's 3 public forums. This is the 3rd public forum. At the first 2 public forums, 22 city residents put forward priorities for the city of Peekskill. Today we'll hear from 15 residents. And, I'm really happy to say that we'll also be hearing from a few Peekskill High School youth. We worked with the Summit Academy last week, and Margie Daniels and Anita Prentice and Miss Keegan, and the kids had a lot of great ideas. And so we're going to hear from them today. After this public forum session, all of these priorities will go on a ballot. And that ballot will get mailed to all 10,000 homes in Peekskill. And we will ask people to rank their top 3 out of the ideas that their community members put forward. And that vote will happen in March. And after that, we'll see what agenda comes out of the city of Peekskill and find how to focus action on making those things a reality. And we saw in the last Community Congress that 450 people volunteered to work on the priorities they voted for, and it created a wave and momentum for change, not only change through local government, but also change by community action. And I know by Jocelyn's slow walk up here, that is the hook. So without further ado, let's hear from the real stars of today's presentation, the residents that came forward and said, I'm going to offer a solution. And I'm going to stand up in front of the group, and we'll move over to that. Thank you so much for coming out this morning.
Okay, he was a good role model. He got kicked off the stage. Thank you very much, Jason. Okay, so here's how it works very briefly. Each of the proposers know that they have 3 minutes. At the 2-minute mark, I'll give a quick ring so that you know you have 1 minute left to present, and then when the time's up, I'll slowly walk close to you to make you feel nervous so that you can wrap up your presentation. We have 15 today. We got to go through them quickly. And so before everyone steps up, I just want to quickly give a round of applause to all of them. One more time. Thank you for everyone coming up. I also did notice that Mayor Rainey's still in the room, and I wanted to say thanks for sticking around. Hello. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to say the person who's to come up, and I will name the person who's on deck so that you're kind of ready and prepared to come up. So we're going to start. Is Sadiqa Clark here yet? Great. Oh, thank you. So Sadiqa is here. She's going to be first. And then Reverend Stephanie Graham, you're on deck. Great.
Good morning, Peekskill community. My name is Sadiqa Clark, and I am the coordinator for student support services at the district, and I'm here for the girls of our district. I'm proposing that we have a Girls Global Alliance on the high school level to provide our young ladies with leadership, mentorship, and opportunities for sisterhood and fellowship. Inspired by Michelle Obama's Global Girl Alliance to reach women and young girls through education and sisterhood, we want to bring that here to Peekskill. Currently, 78% of our girls are graduating high school. There's a 3% suspension rate, and about 54% have satisfactory attendance. So we have some work to do. So I propose that we produce stars, and not in the traditional sense of the word, but strong, talented, authentic, resilient, sophisticated women. And we plan to do that through mentorship, leadership with our business and community partners, self-esteem, financial literacy, STEAM and STEM programs, all with partnering with organizations that have a curriculum for our girls in high school. And I'm hoping I can count on the community, our local business leaders, women in leadership roles to come in and be partners with us and help us achieve this goal. We have leaders from the high school with me today who have worked with me to recruit girls on the high school level to be part of this amazing initiative. And not to hold you guys up too long, but they're going to read an excerpt from one of my favorite poems, Maya Angelou, Dr. Maya Angelou, Phenomenal Woman, because that's what we want to produce in Peekskill, phenomenal women to prepare them for their bright futures. Come on, girl.
Hi, my name is Amber Beach, and I'm a junior at Peekskill High School, and I will be reading the first half of the poem. Now you understand just why my head's not bowed. I don't shout or jump. about or have to talk real loud. When you see me passing, it out to make you proud, I say.
I'm Imani, I'm reading the second half. It's in the click of our heels, the bend of our hair, the palm of our hands, the need for our care, 'cause I am a woman phenomenally. A phenomenal woman, that's me.
Excellent. Thank you, girls, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to call up Reverend Stephanie Graham and Eileen Sullivan. You're next.
Good morning, Peekskill neighbors and friends. One of the few things that comes without effort is age. I am Stephanie Graham, and I stand today representing the Peekskill Area Pastors Association. We're very excited about all the great ideas that are being presented at the Congress meetings. Truly, our city is experiencing a renaissance of sorts. Shout out to Jason and Jocelyn for this vision and for your excellent organizational skills. Yeah. But as we move forward, we want to make sure that there are provisions in place for our most vulnerable neighbors. There have been several ideas cast for our youth, again this morning. That's really exciting. Looking forward to the stars. There's an effort to maintain our intentional diversity, and Papa is in support of both of those efforts. We are aware that there are currently some programs for the elderly in Peekskill, but we would like to see a council established that would include members of the faith community, seniors, and other neighbors who would act as advocates to collectively address some of the problems that our aged and aging encounter. It is important for our older neighbors to know that with all of the changes taking place, they will not be overlooked or forgotten. We would offer our collective support to lend our collective voices in the areas of safety, medical attention, housing, transportation, referrals, information, and spiritual support. We want to partner and help to strengthen existing groups that address the concerns of our elderly neighbors. This could easily become a part of another group that will address these and other concerns of the elderly. It does not have to be a standalone council. Our neighbors who are 65 and above make up about 12% of our demographic. We hope that many of you will also find this to be an important proposal. I leave you with this African proverb that reads, "Those who respect the elderly pave their own way for success." Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so Eileen Sullivan can please come up, and Deb Malone is on deck.
Good morning, Peekskill. Hi. Clap if you've been to Saturday Academy before. Good, that's right. This is an awesome community collaboration, and I thank so much all the people who put this together. And I want to thank everyone who's here out experiencing and exploring the many wonderful things that Peekskill has to offer. How many of you have been to a Peekskill Community Congress forum before? Raise your hand. How many have been to both? That's awesome. Okay. This is my third, and I'm going to tell you why. I was drawn to the concept of gathering with my neighbors to talk about our city face to face. Specifically, the opportunity to bring something forward with actionable possibilities. Not just moan and groan, but move and groove. Not just opine, but stand in line behind something, anything. And the structure was key. I am immensely grateful for the opportunity to come together with my neighbors, to expand my internet mind and to flex my internet muscles and move Peekskill forward together with our common counsel in community activism. I want to see it continue. I propose a conceptual continuation of the Community Congress, the Peekskill Podium, a forum foundationally similar to the Congress, where once every 3 months folks come to the podium with ideas and opportunities they feel need to, should be, can be implemented, where we will take responsibility to continue to amplify our voice, the voice of Peekskill, to the broader community, and when applicable to the council and beyond. I've brought with me a sample agenda for an opening meeting. This requires commitment, it requires coordination, and it would be very assisting if there were local venues interested in hosting. So if you're interested, please, let's talk. Oh, and by the way, no Facebook page.
Thank you, Eileen. So Deb Malone is already running up here, and then on deck is Rosa.
Hi. Oh, and speaking to the mic. Hi, I'm Deb Malone, the president of the Hudson Valley Gateway Chamber of Commerce. I'm going to hold this thing, maybe. Okay, that's better. And I've been living here in Peekskill for 30 years, and I love this town. And I'm running because we have a grand opening at Little Kings and Queens, the mayor and I, in about 45 minutes. My proposal is to transform Peekskill into one large magical holiday display during the month of December. Let's make Peekskill a must-go-to destination during the holiday season. Let's light up our business and residential neighborhoods. Create a magical environment that people from all over will want to come and see. Why do people flock to Manhattan during the holiday season? To see the tree and the window displays. Why do thousands attend the Blaze event in Kroger? To see the 2,000 illuminated pumpkins. If you're from this area, you might remember that years ago in Brookline, a family called Duffy used to put out a display. And hundreds of people from all over the area used to go and watch their animated figures and different holiday themes at their home in Brookline. And each year you see programs on homes and neighborhoods that are illuminated during the holidays, and the crowds that they draw. Let's do the same thing here in Peekskill. Let's light up Peekskill. Businesses say to me all the time, what can be done to bring more people in during the holidays? We need to do something different, something that people would want to see. Make Peekskill one large holiday light extravaganza, and businesses will benefit from the increased traffic. This would also attract positive publicity for our city. We can, and this is simple to do because we would only be responsible for decorating our own home and businesses. We can kick off this month-long event at our annual tree lighting. We can have a contest where visitors can vote for their favorite business display and residential display via the text message, and do special business promotions each weekend. If you want to bring people to Peekskill, let's give them a reason to come here. Let's make Peekskill a visual wonderland in December. If you light it, they will come.
And so I would like to ask Rosa Carlos Caceres to come up, and she'll be reading with a translator as well. And then, Jakima, you're on deck. With Maria, thank you. Please speak into the mic.
Good morning con todos. Mi nombre es Rosa Cáceres Carlos y vivo en Peekskill 812 Limber Place. Casi el 40% de la población de Peekskill es hispana o latina. Son miembros de la comunidad que alquilan y son dueños de una casa. Poseen negocios y compran localmente y pagan una parte significativa de los impuestos locales. Sin embargo, muchos servicios básicos de la ciudad no reflejan esa diversidad y ofrecen servicios adecuados.
Good morning, my name is Maria Bell. Nearly 40% of Peekskill's population is Hispanic or Latino. These are community members who rent and own homes, own businesses, and shop locally, and pay a significant share of local taxes. Yet, many basic city services fail to reflect this diversity and offer appropriate services.
Por ejemplo, nuestros residentes locales hispanos y latinos hablan inglés como segundo idioma. Sí, muchos residentes necesitan ayuda de la policía local, incluso por algo tan simple como perder una billetera. A menudo tienen que esperar mucho tiempo para volver a visitar la estación varias veces hasta que un oficial de policía esté de guardia que hable y entienda español.
For example, many local Hispanic or Latino residents speak English as a second language. If many residents need the help of a local police, Even for something as simple as losing a wallet, they often have to wait for a long time or revisit the station multiple times until a police officer is on duty that speaks and understands Spanish.
Esto significa que los residentes hispanos, latinos, no reciben la misma seguridad básica de los residentes.
This means that Hispanic Latino residents aren't given the same basic security that other residents are offered.
La solución es simple y rentable. El Departamento de Policía Local debe tener un miembro del personal presente las 24 horas del día, 7 días a la semana, que hable y comprenda español.
This means that, solution is simple and cost effective. The local police department should have one staff member present 24 hours and 7 days a week that speaks and understands Spanish fluently.
La misma propuesta es para el City Hall. Esta es mi propuesta. Rosa Cáceres Carlos.
The same proposal as for the City Hall. I've been living for so many years, and we definitely need someone that helps us to understand and speak Spanish. Even though our residents are living for like 4 years, 10 years, it doesn't matter, but we speak basic Spanish, but we definitely need someone also in our for services. Thank you, that's my report for the course. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So I would like to ask Jakima Brewington-Smith to come up, and Valerie Eaton, you are on deck. You're coming up too? Christian's giving the hug.
Yay. Okay. Is this thing on? Okay. Really close? Parents, have you noticed that your kids are bored? God damn it. I'm sorry. I'm not good. I'm sorry. I'm really bad at this.
What?
I'm drawing a blank.
It's right here.
Do you want them out of the house finally? Someday, do you want to be the one asking them for money? We come to you today to represent the youth of Peekskill.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. So I would like to propose about jobs for the youth. So I would like to start off as it's very difficult as teens to get jobs around the area. We'll have to go to like Cortland, Mohegan Lake to get jobs, right? And it's very difficult for us. But we can make a solution as Peekskill to come up with something more simple for us. So we proposed an investment in activities for younger people that will also provide us with jobs and opportunities. For example, we can work at carnivals and fairs, and if there were more stores and businesses like that weren't like privately owned but more like diverse, so more of the community could work instead of just like families and everything, it would be more better for the teens. And if we have more businesses in towns that we can work at, then it'll be easier for us to travel. We don't have to go all the way out of town. We can just be right in town. And another source of both jobs and activities, we can have a youth center. Like we already have a youth bureau, but we can have a YWCA or a YMCA or a Boys and Girls Club that will all help us with activities. It'll give us job opportunities, but it won't have us at boredom. Thank you.
So I'm going to call up Valerie, and then actually I'm going to have Christian be ready to read a couple more proposals for his fellow students. Speak close to the mic.
I usually don't need a mic because I'm loud enough. So good morning, Peekskill. My name is Valerie Eaton, and I am the president of the current NAACP in Peekskill. Thank you. I am speaking on behalf of our Civic Engagement Committee, and what we want is an early voting polling place. Okay. So recently, New York State has put forth legislation for early voting. For the first time starting November 2019, New York will have 9 days of early voting before every election, including the 2 weekends prior to the election and ending the weekend before the election. Why does this matter? Well, it eases the pressure on polling sites on election day. Also, it gives New Yorkers more time to vote. We are New Yorkers, okay? We are still part of New York, all right? New York's least populous county has 5,000 residents. Its most populated, 2.5 million residents. To account for this variation in population, there will be one site per 50,000 registered voters. We only have 10,000 registered voters. Because of that, we have to request the Board of Elections to put an early voting polling place here in Peekskill. So we are asking for support from the community to make sure that we get that here. Not only will it increase our voting power because we will have people able to vote earlier, okay, it will also allow us to say that, yes, we are important. We are still part of New York. Our vote matters. So we want to get the information out to our community that they should come out and vote, whether it be on the actual election day or earlier. People do not know about absentee voting. They don't want to deal with filling out another application. Let's get to the polls, let's get the information out to our community and make sure that we have an early voting polling place in Peekskill. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so Christian is coming up here to read two separate proposals on behalf of his fellow classmates. One of them was submitted by Cristina Diaz and Aaliyah Vega, so he'll read this one first, and then he's going to also take on the burden, so we're going to have to give him some props for putting another one on for us. They were submitted by Victoria Palmer. So I'll ring the bell when you have 1 minute left, and then I'll come stand next to you when it's time up.
Okay.
Speak closer to the mic.
Sure.
Jeez, even I can't get this. There we go. Speak close.
Warning. Sorry if I stop midway through. I have trouble talking in front of people. So, just a quick warning. Okay. When you search for a place to live, you tend to have difficulty with finding it, or when you find a place to live, it's probably like $600 per month, or if you find an apartment, like $1,000 and up. Some don't have minimum wage that could pay this, and also for also things like food and clothing. And some teens that want to move out can't because they only have a part-time job or not a wage that can afford it. This affects everyone, women with children and teenagers who want to start living on their own. My proposal, or Cristina Diaz's and Aaliyah's proposal, their proposal is that the city of Peekskill should require...
Excuse interruption, our Saturday Academy goers. But at this time, if you'd like to make your way to the auditorium, if you choose to, you can see the production. And it's actually going to start at 11:45, but if you would make your way now, that'd be wonderful so you can get seated. And then the wonderful actors will receive you at 11:45. So once again, if you are able to, and if you are in the session, finish your session, and then please join us at 11:45 in the auditorium. Thank you.
The city of Peekskill should require builders to build affordable rental housing as part of the... I wasn't close enough. Affordable rental housing as part of every and most of their projects. Peekskill should have a place where everyone can live comfortably.
Great job. Sorry. So sorry that you were interrupted.
No,
wonderful job. Okay, so he's going to do one more, like I said, from Victoria, but I wanted to tell Charles Jennings that you are on deck. Okay. Good job.
This was given to me last second. Okay. There's not enough streetlights in many Peekskill areas. The streetlights are only located on Main Street, and if they are and if there are places on and if they are placed on less populated streets. The lights are not bright enough. This is hazardous for the people of the community. There are animals, unknown people walking who give you curious feelings, unknown people walking by who give you curious feelings or make you nervous. There are people who have children. There are children walking alone, and there are people who are unaware of their surroundings and need lights to keep safe. To fix this problem, people need to have a one-on-one with the city council and tell them we as people feel unsafe and are worried we will not make it home walking in the dark. We can all vote or sign a petition as one to gain more lights and safety in our community. We can also make an agreement that we can use energy lights, candle lights, light switches inside of the street lights. Any bright light can make the community satisfied. The cost of new buildings come with leftover money. That money could go into community lighting or other problems in the city of Peekskill.
I just want to quickly give one more round of applause for the 4 Peekskill High School students that this week decided to answer the question what they would do to move Peekskill forward, and give you all, Christian, Jakima, Victoria, Christina, serious props for getting up in front of a room of people and stepping forward to lead their community. So well done, Christian. Awesome.
Okay, so is Charles here? Okay, so Charles is here, and then Margaret Steele, you are up next. Charles? Charles Jennings? No? Okay, maybe he'll come, and if not, we'll read it quickly at the end. So are you ready to go? So Margaret, and then on deck will be Luis, who's going to read on behalf of a couple people. Is Luis still in here? Okay, so you'll be next after it. Okay, come on up. Speak close to the mic. Yes.
Hello. My name is Margaret Steele. I've lived in Peekskill for 8 years. I live in and work downtown in an artist loft. I also walk everywhere. I walk 2 to 3 miles a day because I have a dog, so I see everything. My actionable priority is to create, as a community, a vision map which will serve as a guide in transforming Peekskill into a model walkable city. There's currently no such thing in the U.S. as a model walkable city, at least according to Google, and we have a chance to be the leader in this. Peekskill is already a walkable city. Walkability is a big area of interest all over the world right now because of interest in reducing the global footprint in every city. But we're just a walkable city by default. We just are lucky to have a lot of the factors that make a city walkable. Some urban planners call it the 5 Ds. Density, we definitely have density. Diversity, we have that. We have destination accessibility. You can walk everywhere you need to in the city. And we have walkability to transit, distance to transit. The thing we do not have, the place we fall really short and that really sinks us in the walkability scale, is that we are not pedestrian friendly. Walkable cities prioritize pedestrians so that they don't have to compete with cars. But we only have a couple of pedestrian prioritized crossings. We have a lot of dangerous intersections and difficult to cross streets with no crosswalks. We have aggressive and inattentive drivers. Well, most of them are nice, but we all know we have a few. And that creates unpleasant interactions. Walkable cities also have continuous walking infrastructure, footpaths, that are separate from car traffic and don't compete with cars at intersections. We have no planned walking infrastructure and good luck crossing certain streets. Right now, as I said, Peekskill is walkable by default, not intention. If we don't address this, as Peekskill develops, we'll just have a haphazard priority, and that'll be too bad because we have so much potential. I'm going to skip because I only have a minute. We have hundreds of kids that walk to school every day. At least 3 other priorities have talked about pedestrian issues. So what I would like to create is a vision map of what we want. And it doesn't have to be what we can already do. We need kids involved in this, the kids that have, especially that have interest in design and art, and what we would want. to prioritize pedestrian routes, to create awareness, especially collaborating with the artists and the kids in the city. It's a daunting project, but with a vision map, you don't have to know how to do it. You just have to know what you want. We can figure out later how we get there and how we pay for it. Thank you.
Okay, so a Peekskill Community Congress volunteer, Luis, is going to come up and read on behalf of two people who couldn't make it today, but still wanted to submit ideas. So the first will be by Robin Alpern that he's going to read, and the second will be by Paul Stark. Excuse me. So talk close to the mic.
Okay. Good morning, Peekskill. And a special hello to the Peekskill Rotary Club members. If it's positive, if it's in Peekskill, one of them is probably involved. So, welcome. The first proposal, tax breaks, incentives, jobs for Peekskill public housing residents. This proposal requests that the City of Peekskill adopt a policy that would empower and provide job opportunities for residents of public housing from the tax incentives offered to developers and businesses, investors who launch projects in Peekskill. This policy would delineate a set-aside of job opportunities, a jobs reserve program based on tax incentives given to new developers and businesses. The financial benefits given to developers for job creation for those who need them most will move Peekskill forward for all. Thank you. Second one is by Paul Stark, called Self-Managed Youth Entrepreneurship Initiative. Those who are young now are being propelled into a world of unprecedented challenges. We have fallen short in our duty to prepare and assist them. The young people of Peekskill can create an initiative centered on youth entrepreneurship and create and manage a viable, self-sustaining enterprise. They will develop skills in leadership, cooperation, teamwork, and community building. They will be actively supported in learning necessary skills and principles by individuals and organizations in Peekskill who possess the appropriate experience and willingness. The initiative aims to provide proof of concept and a model for communities in Westchester and across the nation. Thank you.
Okay, we've just got three more. I will quickly read Charles Jennings. He's not here. And then I'll let Liz Green know that you're on deck. Okay, so Charles Jennings proposed protect historic city homes. The city's building department arbitrarily forces homeowners to demolish pre-existing third-floor rooms and/or install sprinkler systems. Neither of these actions is required under New York State's building code. The city agreed under the Foster administration to stop this practice, but the building department resumed it. Demolition or inability to occupy third floors reduces the value of properties, destroys historic fabric, and encourages subdivision and conversion of these grand homes into rooming houses or apartments. All these actions undermine zoning and lower quality of life and cause direct economic harm to owners and future sellers of these properties. That was by Charles Jennings. Okay, so is Liz here? All right, Liz is coming up, and then following Liz is our final presenter, Dinora Pacheco. Make sure you speak close.
Okay. So, good morning, everybody. Thanks for sticking around for this whole thing. Lots of good ideas. So, here's mine. The last time it got really, really cold, I'm sure you're all very familiar with that. The pond in Depew Park froze over completely, and we went ice skating on it, and there were families there, and there were, some of the older people who were telling us that it used to be a big thing in Peekskill where the pond froze over and the whole community came out, and there was, hot chocolate, and it was this great community event. And I think we should bring that back to Peekskill. Trouble is, you may have noticed the winters are, in fact, a little warmer, so you can't just rely on the pond now to be frozen for months. You can get maybe 3-4 days, but that's not really going to cut it. So what I think we should do is form a committee to kind of look into ways we can bring this back. So the big goal, the awesome thing that we could do is get an outdoor covered facility where we could have skating, we could have hockey for the kids, we could have lessons for kids. It's a really good way to get kids outside in the winter, moving around, not just sitting inside waiting for it to warm up. And in the summer, you could use that facility for graduations, for outdoor concerts, for literally anything you could do outside, maybe even weddings if it was, pretty enough. So what I think we should do is form a committee with community members, city officials, business members in the community to kind of look at next steps. How could we actually make this a reality for Peekskill? The city could work with the state, with the county, with the bid, with the chamber. Private parties might be interested in seeing what we can do. And in the interim, while we try and work that out, we could look at ways to just bring skating to the park now. So maybe people were telling us they used to flood the basketball court in the winter, and then you can skate on that, and it stays frozen because it's, just blacktop. So we could look into getting that going again, having somebody organize maybe some little hockey games for the kids or the grown-ups. I know my husband would be thrilled with that. I think we should just bring back ice skating and hockey to Peekskill. It's a good way to stay fit in the winter and bring the community together. That's it.
Thank you. Okay, so Dinora, where are you? Oh, there you are, sorry. Okay, this is our final presenter. And then please stick around for Jason gets one more minute just to wrap it up, just to say thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dinora Pacheco. I'm Peekskill Hispanic Community Corp President. I live in 234 Ringgold Street, and I'm working for the community with my team, and my team are you, everybody that is here. But in Peekskill happen a lot of fire. Many people losing the house, the property, everything they have in 1 minute. So, as a group, we hope a lot of people that be past the tragedy. And sometimes we can provide something, but sometimes we can provide that much. We need it more than what is we can provide. And I think so we can do it together to make the people that lose clothes, anything they have, may have go back in an apartment or in a room. When you're losing everything, anything help. The Red Cross help the people for 3 days. They put it on in the hotel for 3 days, and then after that, so the people is out. So I have many times that they call me, they are sitting, the parents and 3 children, sitting in Dunkin' Donuts, any restaurant with the bags in the floor. So I'm in Manhattan working, my team is not around, so I had to call somebody to say, okay, can you go to the hotel and try to put it on the people in? So we try to help them. And this happened like is November. That is family losing the house. But the most sad is that when we went to the social service, they helped the people to put it on in White Plains in the shelters. The shelters here in Peekskill doesn't take children. So when you have the children, one go to White Plains, the other one go to the children here, separated. So I cannot explain them that much. But my proposal is for the local, the community, and for the government. If the government can open a space, emergency space, that is count as emergency space for people that lose in the house and be in the street. And we are a group, many groups that are here in Peekskill. We can provide them food. We can take care of them in this building that they open up. Or people that have 2 houses, have a space and say, okay, I can take them for 1 week here. And then we provide. Just we don't leave our people in the street with children. It's sad when I had to send them, pay the bus for one of 19 years old, the mother and the 2 little ones staying in White Plains, and she had to go to North Carolina to be with the sibling there, and they can find an apartment. And we still working with that family. And this one that went to North Carolina, she is ready to go in college here. Thank you. This is my proposal.
All right, thanks. So Jason, you want to give one final word?
Just one final word before we get out of here and hopefully go down and support the other activities at Saturday Academy this morning. You know, the one thing I want to say is that, you know, sometimes if you spend a lot of time on Facebook or social media, you can kind of think, or you look out of the world, that things, you know, there's a lot of complaints and there's a lot of inactivity. But one thing about all of the leaders in this community that are already doing hard work, and the people that devote their time, and the regular residents who have ideas to put forward and really step up, it is just so hopeful. You know, one thing that we come away from is so hopeful that there are so many people, when you create a platform, that are already working on things and have put in work, and or want to put themselves out there to start new things. And so thank you to all of those who proposed today, proposed over the first Peekskill Community Congress, because it's very encouraging. I mean, so much credit to them. So quickly, what happens next? What happens now? We all heard a lot of ideas. Did anybody hear an idea this morning that you felt support for, that you thought was a good idea that would help move Peekskill forward? Okay, all right. So what happens now? So all of these ideas, I think there's almost 38 in all were proposed across 3 forums. Now all of those ideas are going to go onto a ballot. This is the ballot from the first Community Congress. So everybody who proposed is now going to have to reduce their idea into a very catchy title and a few words, and the whole idea will be online. But this ballot will go to every home in Peekskill. And the difference with this ballot is you're not voting for a candidate from a political party, you're voting for a community priority or a community idea. And so we're taking it outside of the box of political labels or any other label and asking people, what are your 3 top priorities? Would you rank them? Would you volunteer to work on the things you care about? And that's going to go out in mid-March, and we'll see out of that process, how do you figure out where a common agenda emerges, and how do you try to create momentum and work in partnership with local government to create momentum to achieve those things that Peekskill cares about in common. And that is really the process. Yes? Yes, so there will be 1 ballot per household. There will be spots on the ballot for multiple family members to vote who are 13 years or older. We heard from the first Community Congress that there were a lot of interesting conversations between husbands and wives and families saying, that was your number 1? What are you talking about? So hopefully it encourages a lot of good conversation. Also, people can vote online. And in the first Community Congress we did, about 60% of people cast their ballots online, of about the roughly 900 people that voted. So people can cast it online. They can cast it at community locations around Peekskill with a hard ballot, or they can mail in their top priorities. Any other quick questions before we break? Yes. 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 Great question. Great question. So, I mean, a couple things you raised. One, not all of the ideas that were presented involve the local government. Some of them do, are about community volunteerism. And that's the point of this. So, you know, out of a number of the initiatives that were presented, we'll probably go after this to the proposers, all of the ones that talked about creating a vision for walking and pedestrian safety, and see if they want to combine forces on the ballot. And then the second thing is that after the vote takes place, we will issue a public report of how people voted to local city government, community organizations. But then after that, we will hold a very large forum that gets people together, a kind of an action-oriented fair where people can go and meet up with those who are interested in their same priorities and move forward. And at the same time, as I mentioned, the first Community Congress, about 450 people check the box that say, yes, I'm going to give you my personal cell phone and email because I want to volunteer on the thing I cared about. And we're going to hand that contact information over to the proposers who want to be recognized as helping to organize the effort after the vote. So there's some momentum created to do that. So great question. All right, Jocelyn is telling me, as I always follow orders here, that wraps up the final third public forum of the Peekskill Community Congress. Thank you to all of you for coming out. Thanks to all the community leaders who made it happen. Please vote. Please, as the vote goes out in mid-March, tell your neighbors to vote. We will be organizing a lot of ways to hand out flyers, to go door to door, to call people. Please help us vote and get the vote out. And if you want, the performance is starting in 5 minutes downstairs of Showway, and go and enjoy the rest of the Saturday Academy. Thank you so much. Thank you.